What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and we're going to recap and review Real Housewives of New York. This is season 14, episode 6. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So the episode opens up, and we see Uba and Aaron at Jacob's Jeweler, or Jacob the Jeweler. I don't know what the name of the jewelry place is, but I know the man's name is Jacob. And pretty much he is a well-known jeweler in New York. One of my mutuals was talking about him on Twitter and pretty much said that all the older rappers used to go to him that lived in New York to get their jewelry. And he had really nice pieces. So what we find out is that Uba is going to extend or loan or worked up a deal with Jacob to get him to loan some of his pieces to Aaron for her vow renewal. We know it's her 10-year anniversary, and I think her husband's name is Abe, have decided to do a vow renewal. So Aaron is ecstatic. I would be too. She ended up picking earrings that were $224K. And they were gorgeous earrings, and she had on another pair that were 220K, but she went with the 224K. It's just crazy because the way I was, girl, you dripping in diamonds. That's crazy. But it's also cool that Uba has a relationship with him. Aaron asked, well, how do you know him? And she's like, I guess they met at a charity event overseas. I think they said in Monaco, and they just struck up a really cool relationship. And I mean, that's a cool relationship to have. Any person that can loan you $1,000 or even $1 million jewels just for one night, and you don't really maybe they had to pay a price, but still to have that relationship that you can extend to other people, that's crazy. So while Uba and Aaron are at the jeweler, there's a scene, but like I said, Brynn and Jessel are at this boutique, like I said, a well-known boutique in New York, and they're trying to find outfits for Aaron's event. So Jessel asks Brynn, so how's it been going? How's your dating life? And because Brynn is saying how she hopes that Aaron has some bachelors there because she's ready to get out of this dating game. And girl, me too, because it is radio acid in the dating pool. And sludge. It's horrible. But she tells Jessel how she was on a date with this guy the previous night, and she just left the party. I guess they went to an event or a party, and I guess she got bored, and she just got in her car and left and went home. And then I guess the guy was looking for her, but she texted him and was like, sorry, I left. And Jessel was like, when did you text him that? And she was like, when I got home. And then Jessel was like, girl, why are you texting him? Because in the morning, Brynn texted the guy again, apologizing. And Brynn was like, well, if he would have did that to me, it would have been over. And I just, she should apologize. She should apologize. Unless the guy was a total dickwad and he was being disrespectful or being very creepy, then there was no need to apologize. But if you were just bored and you left, that's rude. Boredom is not a reason to be disrespectful to somebody. And we'll talk about that at Aaron's party. But yeah, it was rude. It's just you two there and you just decided to leave and you couldn't even be like, hey, this ain't my jam. I'm out. That was rude. So Brynn also asked Jessel, are you going to apologize to Aaron again? And Jessel was like, well, I did apologize. I gave a blanketed apology. And Brynn is like, no, I think you probably should apologize to her directly, not a blanketed apology, because you did call her names with the old hag comment. And Jessel's kind of like, girl, I apologize and I'm not apologizing again kind of energy. And I kind of get it. I get it. If you disrespected somebody or you hurt somebody's feelings, it should be a direct apology. I'm apologizing for this. I did not mean to hurt your feelings, but it seems like I did, so I apologize for that. Instead of just being I apologize for any of the issues we've had. That goes for everybody, instead of it being direct. They then start making jokes about Aaron's engagement, or like not engagement, her vow renewal, because at the bottom of the invitation it was all these sponsors. It was like at least a good 12 people. And I kind of get it. It's like it's a vow renewal. Shouldn't it be or is it a vow renewal? It kind of is because they redid their vows. I guess I'm gonna call it a vow renewal or an anniversary. I'm gonna go in and out, but they are having this event that is supposed to be like a wedding pretty much, and that is a lot of sponsors. But I mean, if they're helping pay for the event, then I think it's understandable, because the event space that they had was huge. And if Aaron and Gabe, not Gabe but Abe, know a lot of people, then heck, get your money. If it helps you cost down on your funds, get your money, bruh. Get your money. So the next scene we have is Jenna and her assistant. They're pretty much working on the plans to redecorate, and because she's an interior designer, redecorate this actress's home. Her name's Emily Hampshire. We find out that they didn't have romantic feelings for each other, but they really connected. This actress has been a very supportive friend to Jenna, especially with her eyelash business. I know the diva, so shout out to Erica De Niro. It was her birthday yesterday, she posted. So happy birthday. But she also posted that she ordered some of Jenna Lyon's eyelashes. And I wonder if they're really good quality. You know, everyone's on the eyelash game. I've tried. I'm not that good at it, so I just let it go. I get the mascara that makes them look big, but her and Jenna became really good friends, so she's redesigning her home. I will say though, she looked really familiar, the actress, and I Googled her, but I don't think I've seen any of the movies, or maybe I've seen the movies that she's been in passing, but I was like, she looks so familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. We then see this scene of Aaron and Abe going to a restaurant. Mind you, the slit that Aaron had was all the way up to her waist. I said, girl, you really don't have no panties on in dirty New York. No panties. I mean, her thigh looks great, but I said, girl, no, protect the hoo-ha. But they're at this really nice restaurant. And, you know, I like their relationship. It really does seem like they really have a healthy marriage, and a marriage that's built on friendship and like understanding one another. And they talk about how they met, and she was like, it was a really like immediate connection. Abe said in his vow renewal how he was like, the moment I met her, I ran home and told my parents like I found my wife, and they just been friends ever since. And Aaron even said like, if we weren't together, we would be friends. And Abe was like, yeah, but I still would want to like take you down. He was like, I still would want to, you know, take you to the bedroom. And they giggled. He then ends up gifting her like a new diamond ring. And I thought it was cute the way he asked her, like, what do you want? Like, isn't it time for you to get a new ring? And she was like, yeah, I want a bigger rock. And he went in his pocket, pulled out the jewelry box or the ring box, and opened it up. And Aaron was like, oh my God. She was just like, how much did you spend on this? And it was actually a really pretty ring. So I like their relationship. And even Abe was like, you know, it was pricey, but she deserves it. And that's not, you should be in a relationship where the person loves, respects you, and wants to do things for you just because. Like, that was just really sweet. I like the fact that he surprised her and she was shocked. So we end up seeing everybody, before everyone starts to get ready for the party, we see, I got his name right, Pavid. I got it right. Pavid and Jessel at their home. And Jessel calls him on the phone and she's like, hey, come sit down with me. And so they're looking up like monastery schools and international schools for the twins. Mind you, they're only 2 years old. And I get where Pavid is coming from, because the amount of tuition for these kids to go to these schools, I think the international school is $62,000. And then Jessel was like, well, you know, they get taught different languages. So like Mandarin and stuff like that, in Spanish. And Pavid was like, they don't even they can't even speak English yet. And Jessel was like, yes, they they can. And then she was like, well, our kids could be rubbing shoulders with Tom Cruise's kids. I said, isn't Tom Cruise kids old now? Like the kid he had with that actress, with Katie Holmes, she's like in like maybe middle school or high school. And I think he has other kids, but I don't think none of them are like that age, like in elementary school anymore. So by the time they rubbing shoulders with him, they're gonna be grown adults. But I get where Private is coming from, because her trying to say, well, they get an iPad and a Mac. Girl, an iPad and a Mac, at most, if you bought those two things together, maybe would be like $3K or 200, like 25, maybe 2,500, but not $62,000. And I'm like, with that $62,000, are they taking the kids on field trips? Like, is field trips built in with the iPad and Mac? I mean, this to me don't make sense. Because when Jessel was like, is it feasible? If you have to ask, is it feasible for y'all to do this, to send both your kids? And I bet y'all they're not going to let y'all pay separate tuition. So y'all are going to be paying dual tuition for these two kids. That is college tuition for 2-year-olds. No, ma'am. Like, I get wanting to send your kid to a very prestigious school, especially when they're young, to give them a head start in life. And I get that. But to put yourself at a deficit, which is going to affect them in the long run at the end, is stupid to me. And I like Jessel, but girl, calm down. Put them kids in a nice private school in New York that is not going to cost you college tuition. And then when they get older, because I could understand doing this in high school to help them get to a college that they would like to go to. But pre-K, elementary, and middle, girl, that's dead. That is so dead. You better try to get a voucher to go, because my God. We then see this scene with Sai and her husband. She talks about how grateful she is that she has her husband, and how great he is as a father, and how she wished like she had a father that had this same vibe, or this same caring and loving support that he gives their children. But I did get annoyed that the fact that this man had to explain to Sai why Jessel didn't like the pampered comment. He was like, well, she just got back to work and she's a mother of two. Like, and they're 2-year-olds, no less. She's working really hard. Calling somebody pampered would be an insult. And then he talks about how, like, I don't understand why these women are going to you for, like, counseling, because you're not the nicest. You're not very good at emotions. And Sai was like, yeah. She was like, I tried my best to make my life, like, me as a hero, not a victim. So it like throws me off when the girls come to me with their emotions. And I was like, you need to work on that. Because I hope you don't give that same energy to your kids. Because I get it. Don't be a victim of your circumstances. But if someone is coming to you for comfort and care, and it's not a stupid situation, then you should give them comfort and care. I just was like, girl, work on that. And the fact that your husband shouldn't have had to explain that to you, because let's be honest, nobody wants to hear maybe you were taken care of or pampered from somebody that looks like Aaron when you look like Jessel. Y'all, and you get what I'm saying, because there's an air of like, you want to say I'm lazy, or you want to say everything has been handed to you, but you are saying like, oh, I just think everyone takes care of you, when it's like, Aaron, let's be real, you're not a good hostess. And that's your job if you're hosting people, is to make sure everybody is comfortable in your home that did not have stable Wi-Fi or heat, and you ain't have snacks. So 3 chops. And then I don't think Erin meant it in the way that I'm thinking, but it's like maybe she did, because they've been pulling up her history about who she was supporting in the elections, the prior 2 elections we done had in 2016, not 16, was it 18? When did that man get elected that got a mug shot now? Y'all know who I'm talking about. One of the 2 elections, they've been digging in Erin's past. She came out and said some things, but I was just like, girl, I don't know. So then we have this scene of, what's his name, Jessel and Pavitt getting ready. And I thought this scene was cute, which makes me feel like maybe their relationship isn't as cringy or as awkward as we think it is. And maybe this is just them. But it was like a cute little scene. Like she was giving him his props for like upgrading his style, because I guess she was like, back in the day he really didn't care. But I was like, I care about the way we look, so I'm gonna need you to get it together. And he was like telling her like, girl, I know how to dress. And his outfit actually was really nice. We also see this scene of Aaron and Abe sitting down to take a break before they start to get ready for that night's festivities, which is the anniversary party. And we find out, unfortunately, Uba got the vid. She got the vid. So she's not going to be able to come. And Aaron's kind of bummed because she's like, she's the reason I'm going to be draped in jewels. We then see the venue. The venue is actually very nice. It's a very nice venue. The jeweler's bodyguard comes, that the bodyguard of the jewels is there. He was like, I ain't never lost nobody with these jewels, but I guess he was going to be monitoring her to make sure that nobody steal the jewelry. So he's there. I kind of liked Aaron's outfit and I kind of didn't, only because Aaron doesn't have any I don't want to talk about nobody's body, but she ain't got no titties or any booty. And so I was just like, it's cute. But I liked her second outfit better. I thought her second outfit that she wore at the end of the night was way better. This one, and I get it, the second outfit was supposed to be like the party outfit, but the one she had on, her nipples kept like the side of her boob kept coming out, and her dad was concerned. We meet the dad's girlfriend. And he kept saying, he kept telling her, like, girl, I think in Hebrew, like, your boobies, get your boobies together. But we meet the dad's girlfriend. She's just happy her dad is of age. Her dad is funny. He's a funny guy. Brynn gets there with her friend. Brynn talks about sex too much, and I get Brynn is trying to be. Brynn's energy is like a combination of Ramona and Sonia. More so on the Sonia side, but I say Ramona because when Ramona would get around men, she would be extra sexual, and it would be like, Ramona, you are like 70 years old, girl. Have some self-respect. And even with Sonia would be the same, but it was more fun and flirty. And that's what Brynn is kind of giving, because she kept making like sexual innuendo jokes about the food. She was like, it's a lot of wieners in here. I'm going to put them in my mouth. And I was like, Brynn, okay, girl, we get it. You ready. You ready to get some. Are you ready to settle down? And then she was like hitting on everybody, like kind of like making jokes and like talking about she was gonna hit on Aaron's dad. Then she was talking about hitting on Aaron's brother, and it was like, okay, girl, you is you trying to be a part of the family? Then Sai finally gets there, and we find out that her husband couldn't go. I didn't like the fact that Sai shared with Aaron that he was happy not to come. Like, girl, you could have kept that to yourself. Like, that was in poor taste. Like, Sai be saying slick stuff, and I don't think the girls don't be checking Sly. Because I'd have checked her. Because I'd have been like, why would you tell me that? Like, do you not want to be here either? Because there was no need for you to tell me that. Meredith and Brooks was there from Salt Lake City. I guess they friends with Aaron. We then see Jenna gets there. Oh, no, before Jenna gets there, Brynn did a little too much with her jokes with Abe. So she's like making jokes with Abe, talking about, when you're done with Aaron, you could come my way. And then she was like, did y'all say vows? Like, because he was talking about how he was nervous to say his vows to Jessel and Brynn when they were in this conversation. And Jessel was kind of looking at Brynn, but she was awkwardly laughing because even she knew, like, Brynn, okay, girl, pull it back a little bit. And she was like, well, you didn't say vows, so that means like y'all are technically not married. And Abe was like, no, like I said a lot of things. Like I said other things, so we are married. I like, but she was like, well, once y'all get, I could be y'all +3. It was like, it was funny, and I don't think Brynn meant anything behind it, but it was like the joke went too far, and she was she kind of stepped over the line of be like, girl, you getting disrespectful. Like, it's funny, and I don't think you mean anything by it, but you're being disrespectful. Cause like the first joke about like, when you're done with her, me and you could get together, and that was jokey. I was like, okay, that's funny. I still wouldn't have made that joke if I was her, but I was like, okay, girl, one joke like that is funny. Or the one where she said, if she would have said the one about like, well, y'all didn't say vows, so that doesn't mean y'all are like really married. Like, that could have been funny, but like, she kept going, and it was like, yeah, you doing too much. And Jessel was kind of like, ooh, girl, because she kept making like faces like, and she was like, we can't take her anywhere. We can't take this girl Brynn anywhere. Trying to make it funny, but she should have just been like, Brynn, shut up, because you doing too much. You doing too much. Jenna finally gets there. She was trying to get Erin's attention by smacking her on the butt, and that's why I was like, she ain't got nothing back there. She ain't got nothing back there. Because I was like, how you not feel somebody, squeezing your booty cheeks? So we find out that Jenna's girlfriend that she was dating, they're no longer together. And the girls are like, for real? Like, why didn't you tell us? She's having this conversation with Jessel and Sai. And Jessel and Sai are like, oh, how are you doing? And like, they're also kind of like shocked because she ends up telling them that like they broke up like a couple of weeks ago. So none of the girls knew that. That's going to get old with Jenna. I get it. Jenna, it wants to be private because of what she experienced with being like wrongfully outed when she wasn't ready to come out to the world. But you're on a reality show, and it's like, you have to share certain aspects of your life. If everybody else is sharing, it's kind of like, at this point, just don't bring up your dating life. Don't tell the women who you're with. Like, only bring up business ventures. But it's like to kind of give breadcrumbs like, yeah, we were together, but then we broke up. I don't think that's fair to everybody else. And it's kind of like, well, why did you come on the show? And especially if you're a very private person about that part of your life, because then they ask like, well, why did y'all break up? And we find out that the girl didn't like all the privateness of their relationship. And that's understandable, because at some point you want that person to be happy to be with you. And Jenna was in her confessional like, I'm not getting any younger, and I would like to have somebody like with me. But it's like, you also have to compromise. If their whole thing is like, I want the world to know we're together, then you need to figure out a way where you get comfortable with that. But the fact that you expect people just to be like, yeah, like, and there are people out there who will be just as private with you, but you can't be with somebody who doesn't like that privacy about their relationship. That's just what it is. And Sai was like, you could come over my house, we could make mocktails and just have a good time and talk about it. But I don't think Jessel was going to take her up on that offer. So they start doing the speeches. I think they probably had 6 or 7 speeches. The speeches were boring. People had too many pages. They should have gave everybody like a 1-minute limit, depending on how many people gave speeches. The girls were talking about how they were hungry, because I guess Erin don't like food, because there was no really there was just hors d'oeuvres at the party, but not actual like food. And it's like, it looks like everyone was there for a long time. And as they're talking, you hear, I think Sai was like, when does Nobu close? And I think, what's her name? Brynn was like, I think the kitchen closed at 10 o'clock. Yeah, Brynn was like, oh, I think the kitchen closes at 10 o'clock. And then Erin's sister, I think her name like Kelsey or Kelly, wanted a moment, and she was lame for this because she didn't even know what was going on. She was like, I think it's really rude that you guys are arguing at her party. One, they weren't even arguing, so you look stupid because they weren't even arguing. Like, you wanted to have an issue, and you were annoyed that they were talking. And I get it, you were annoyed that they were talking while people were doing speeches, but you look dumb because they were like, we're not arguing, we're just chatting. And the girl was like, well, I think it's rude that y'all chatting while they're doing speeches. Well, you're being rude by reprimanding us when we weren't even talking that loud. So turn your big self around, lady. Turn around. So then the mom even came over there to like introduce herself to the girls, messing up her moment to have on camera with the girls, because then the girls were like, well, we just got yelled at for talking. So we like hi, but we really can't have a conversation with you. So then the sister turns around because now she's like embarrassed and being like, well, they were talking while everyone was doing the speeches. And then the mom is kind of looking at the sister like, girl, it's not that deep. And so she turned around and the sister, I was just like, yeah, they're like, oh, sorry. And then Jenna was like, you're absolutely right. We shouldn't be talking while they're doing speeches. And I was like, yeah, girl, leave that sister at home, Erin. So next thing you know, Erin comes to the group and she's like, don't leave. I'm about to go change. Because everybody was like getting kind of restless. So they're dancing on the dance floor. And then Sai was like, you know what? I'm done. I said hi to her. I'm hungry. I'm out. And I do think it was rude for Sai to leave without saying goodbye. Like, she should have been like, I feel like Sasha saw her in her second outfit, gave her a hug and been like, girl, I'm out, I'm hungry, like I'm ready to go home to see my kids, thanks for inviting me, and then left. But like, she just left. She was like, I saw her, I'm out, and she left. So then Erin comes out in her second outfit. The rest of the girls, which is Jessel, Brynn, and Erin and Jenna, took like pictures because I guess they had a photo booth. And they were like, did Sai leave? And Erin asked, like, did she leave? And they're like, yeah, she was hungry, girl. Like, you ain't got no food here. And Erin's like, that's really rude, when last month she was talking about how Jenna leaving without saying goodbye was rude and she should have said that. So yeah, in a sense, Sai was being a hypocrite. Like, she should have just said, girl, I'm out. Like, honestly, I feel like after she would have took the picture with the photo booth, I'd have been like, peace up. Thanks for inviting me. Had a good time. I'm hungry. Let's go. But that's where the episode ended. So we know that there's going to be beef. They also showed the mid-season trailer. So I'm wondering what happens between Uba and Erin to get them to be like beefing, because they were cool this episode, but now they're gonna have to be beefing. We know Pavitt is gonna be like, yo, I'm about to go to Vietnam. I'm sick of being with Jessel. And then Sai and Brynn get into it. It looks like Brynn broke the fourth wall and like, I guess, revealed a secret that Sai didn't want to be revealed, and like it pissed Sai off because Sai got like the look in her face, like sis was angry, and Brynn was kind of caught off guard with how angry she was. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this stuff breaks down. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.